Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. And I hope everybody is doing well today. I hope you're enjoying this beautiful Friday. And I'm going to talk to you a few minutes about regulating your nervous system. And I just started a new course, and it is on Skool, on regulating the nervous system. It's a new platform that I just tried. So you have to excuse my voice. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to talk because I have this allergy thing going on right now that's like kind of kicking my butt. Allergies are not the best. You shouldn't be having allergies in the middle of February, but I have allergies to so many things, and that's why I'm trying to change my immune system as well to create a better environment for my entire ecosystem in my body. And the biggest way to do that is to start regulating my nervous system, right? And when I can regulate my nervous system, then I can help everyone else and show you how easy it is to regulate your own nervous system. And, the biggest thing when it comes to regulating your nervous system is we have to learn how to have a balance, right? And when our nervous system becomes dysregulated, what happens is we become discombobulated, right? And it could be we had compounding stress in our life. We could have experienced a lot of trauma or loss or a breakup, from a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And all this actually disrupts our entire nervous system. And when that happens, we become on high alert and our cortisol level is elevated and we have more dysfunction in the body, right? So the biggest thing is we have to learn how to regulate it when we start becoming dysregulated. The biggest thing is try to get as much sleep as possible, between 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, because the more sleep you get, the better it is for your entire system, because the brain uses this time like a shower, okay? When you're sleeping, the brain is actually healing and it's removing all the toxins from what you received during the day. So if your nervous system is dysregulated, you can have sleep problems and trouble falling asleep. So, there's other ways that you could do all kinds of different breathing techniques and do different supplements to help you improve your sleep, because sleep is very, very important. And you need to learn about your own rhythm and how it can determine your sleep cycle. Like, try to stay away from electronics at least an hour before bed. Try to stay away from caffeine a few hours before bed. And also, don't do anything really overstimulating right before, a few hours before bed. Some people like to exercise at night and it keeps them awake, which is not healthy. Me, myself, I can exercise at night and go right to sleep. I have no problem sleeping. Sometimes I have a problem staying asleep and not sleeping. So, anyways, another thing is your gut. Your gut regulates a lot of everything inside the body, and we know that. Our microbiome in our gut regulates our entire nervous system and our brain and our whole immune system. So the best thing we have to do is take care of this beautiful body and take care of the gut. Make sure that we are avoiding unprocessed foods, eating foods that are high in fat, good fat, right? Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kefir, kimchi are really good for the gut microbiome, which is also very good for regulating your mood and stress regulation. So the more that you could eat fermented foods and healthier foods, the better it is for your overall nervous system. And blood sugar balance too. Keep your blood sugar up by, you could have spikes with your blood sugar where it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And this could be all, related to your diet, right? Or stress. So blood sugar spikes, can be followed by fatigue, anxiety, depression. So keeping your blood sugar balanced is really good at regulating your whole mood, not just your nervous system, but your mood. And this, you can actually regulate it. I mean, monitor it by different blood sugar, you know, devices. So you can actually check it with different devices, right? So the biggest thing is we have to be out in sunlight. Sunshine, we need the sunshine. Sunshine is essential for health. Sunlight helps build vitamin D, which regulates our nervous system. And the more ultraviolet light that you have from the sun, the better you're going to feel. Also, vitamin D foods like, salmon, eggs are really good for increasing your vitamin D. Avoid or limit your alcohol. The less alcohol, the better your nervous system's going to be, because your nervous system, um, if it's healing, alcohol tends to work against your goals, right? So regulate it by reducing your alcohol. A glass of wine here, drink a little cocktail once in a while, but not the whole bottle, right? Okay, somatic exercises, which is body movement, that is gentle movements, breath work, stretching, air squats. They say get up every hour if you have a sit down job, or if you're sitting down a lot, get up every hour and move, right? Move, 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 move. The body needs movement. Jogging, dancing, walking, any type of movement. Movement, 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 right? And yoga, tai chi, qigong. Qigong is supposed to be really, really good for regulating your nervous system. And hot yoga, Kundalini yoga. I don't know much about that, so I can't really talk about that, but Qigong is really good. And also walking barefoot, which helps you become grounded. Walking barefoot on the beach and the grass, nature. It's so good for your overall nervous system. Deep breathing, belly breaths from the belly and let it go. When you're doing a belly breath and you inhale through your nose, you'll feel your abdomen extend. Hold it for 4 and let it go. That's a deep belly breath, and that will help you regulate your nervous system. Your vagus nerve is your 10th cranial nerve that runs from your brain all the way down the back of your neck, and this is the nerve that activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming part of your nervous system. Okay. So you can actually stimulate the vagus nerve by doing some deep breathing, humming, singing, laughing. Physical feeling of your vocal cords can activate the vagus nerve. So singing and talking. Have you ever felt better? If you haven't talked all day and then all of a sudden you start talking and you start feeling better because your vagus nerve becomes activated. So it's very good to, activate your vagus nerve. They also have vagus nerve stimulators now out that are being put, I said underneath the clavicle. I said on the clavicle, but underneath the clavicle, they're being implanted. And it's supposed to regulate your nervous system if you have a lot of stress and you're really high stress. So take time out to stay away from computers, right? And phones. It's very good for the body. Smells are really good. Olfactory senses, smelling essential oils, smelling something that smells like invigorating, right? Something that is just so that you just want to that's what we need, right? Massage is very good. Massage helps the blood flow in the body. And when your blood flow is flowing, your brain is also getting blood flow, which means you have more, more activity in the brain. And we all need more activity, but good activity, right? Epsom salt baths, really good because that actually regulates your nervous system, especially if you're in a really stressed state. Cold plunges. I'm not a big fan of this. Definitely not a big fan of this because I don't like cold, but a lot of people are really into the cold plunges. Me, myself, I would rather have a nice hot bath, but this is really good to regulate your nervous system. I have done what's called cryo something. It's cryo, but it's like cryotherapy. Yeah. And it's actually like a cold bath. cold plunge, but they use dry ice, and you go in this room and you put gloves on your hands, you put gloves on your feet, and you get in this room, right? And it's almost like one of those stand-up tanning beds, and you're standing up, and the first minute, it was a little painful. The second minute, it was, like, almost intolerable. It hurt so bad. The third minute, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how much longer I can take this." By the time I got out the third minute, I got out, and all of a sudden, I felt like this rush of euphoria. I mean, a rush of euphoria. It felt like every bit of the blood flow was going throughout my whole body, and I felt amazing. Amazing, amazing. This lasted like 24 hours. It was the best ever. So I highly recommend it. It's not for everyone, but for me, I thought it was amazing. It was not very pleasant being in there, but the after effects were very, phenomenal. I definitely have to say that because what happens is, it pushes all the blood to the organs and you're getting a really good flow and even in your brain. And it gave me so much energy. It was great. Another thing is meditation. Meditation should be done daily. If you can't sit and do meditation, you know what I do? I do a walking meditation. And a lot of people do that and they don't understand how could somebody do a walking meditation? Well, you can. You can get outside and just walk and just tune everything out as long as you're not like near a busy highway or anything, right? And just go into yourself and thoughts. And it really does help. My allergies acting up again. Another thing is emotional support and regulation. You need people around you that are going to support you. And I'm not talking about financial. I'm talking about supporting your dreams and your goals, and they want to see you. They want to see you level up. They don't want to see you in the pit. They want to see you shine. They want to see you do better with your life. There's so many people out there that they want you to be okay, but they don't want you to level up because they've seen you at a certain place for so long. And when you start leveling up, it's a threat to them. So remember that, our nervous system needs elevation. Elevation is part of life. And we need to elevate. If we're not growing, we're dying. And if there's people around us that don't want us to grow, we got to let them go. We've got to let them go because growing is part of life. It doesn't matter if you're 22 or 62. Growth is part of life until you take your last breath. Okay. Remember that. So you have to really, really know who is there for you and who is just there for the transaction. And sometimes we don't know until it's too late. Okay, there's another thing, hypnotherapy. I don't know if you guys ever heard of hypnosis, but a lot of people do hypnosis if they're under a lot of stress because it helps with anxiety and stress and pain, and it's very effective. Acupuncture, which is something I'm going to be doing real soon because I want to do it to strengthen my immune system for my allergies. These stupid allergies. So I don't have to have allergies anymore, right? And it is possible. You can get rid of things that you've had for many years. And I'm going to tell you, my allergies went away for a long time. I didn't have any problems with allergies. And then all of a sudden, when I started going through a lot of stress and my nervous system was dysregulated and my cortisol was raised, what came back? My allergies, right? How funny is that? This is what our body does. Our body is like amazing. It does some crazy things. It really does. So another thing is supplements. Supplements are very important. Omega-3s are very good. You can get it from fish. Usually you can get it from salmon, but nuts and seeds, also flaxseed, chia seeds, walnuts, plant oils, which are like flaxseed oil, soybean oil. But you can take omega-3 fatty acid supplement as well because it will help you. Magnesium, I take magnesium every single day because it helps your nervous system. It induces relaxation response, okay? And it really helps you because it it helps with the neurotransmitters and it supports the signals, okay? The transmission of the signals between the nerve cells, okay? And this if they're not signaling properly, what happens is we can get headaches, lack of energy, sleep problems, leg cramps. We can have problems with irritability and trembling of our hands and our feet. Magnesium is so good for that. B vitamins also plays a huge role in our nervous system, and it helps produce neurotransmitters, which are responsible for sending signals between the cells. B vitamins can also affect the nervous system, and if depleted, causes neuropathy in your hands and your feet and your hands. So very important, to keep up with your B vitamins. And if you don't get enough Bs with, your beans and your eggs and your poultry and your bananas and spinach, you can take a supplement. I take a B vitamin every single day. So GABA is another thing, which is also an amino acid that's actually produced in the body. And GABA is the brain's neurotransmitter that helps keep us relaxed and keeps our, cognitive function up and up. It lowers our fear, anxiety, and it helps with, our stress and enhances our concentration. And when GABA is low, it can actually lead to being very nervous or anxious. So, you can find GABA in like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, pickled cucumbers, beets, but you can actually take a supplement too. And electrolytes. Oh, yeah, electrolytes, very, very important because the nervous system is responsible for transmitting signals through our body. And we need electrolytes to function properly. So nerves cannot function properly without proper balance of sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. And these electrolytes allow adequate muscle contraction, heart contractions, and nerve signaling. Okay. Coconut water, especially excellent form of electrolytes. If you don't live in a place where coconut trees grow, don't worry, coconut water is everywhere. You can buy it at any grocery store now. So it's very, very good for you. I highly recommend coconut water. I actually use it and I put my greens in it pretty much every day when I do my greens. So L-theanine is also amino acid, which promotes relaxation and increases cognitive functioning. L-theanine can be found in matcha and green tea. And if you deal with a lot of sleep problems, L-theanine might be helpful. It increases serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, which are responsible for good mood and decreasing fear and anxiety. It makes it easier to slow down your mental process, relax, and fall asleep. Another thing, caffeine and yerba mate. Caffeine is one of the most common used stimulants. And when used thoroughly, it can help you feel more focused and alert. So yerba mate, which is a plant-based beverage, has also been studied for its potential to support mental clarity and energy, and may even offer some protective health benefits. However, if somebody is very sensitive, if you're sensitive and you have a sensitive nervous system, too much caffeine can backfire and leading to anxiety and, an overstimulation or fight or flight, and you might be, on edge. So you just have to balance it and see what's best for you. But there's a bunch of adaptogens too to help with your nervous system. Ashwagandha, rhodiola, ginseng, all those are very, very good for, regulating the nervous system. Lots of good herbs, teas like green tea, matcha tea. Also, they say St. John's wort. I don't know much about that, so I really can't really go in detail, but what they say about it's like a natural antidepressant, and a lot of people take it instead of taking like a Prozac or something. But I can't elaborate on it because I have not experienced it myself, but It is a brain adaptogen, and it's supposed to be really good for the nervous system. Another thing, this is really, really good, and that's fasting. People say, and studies have shown, that if you fast for 3 days, even just a 3-day water fast, as long as you're healthy and you can do it, your body after 17 hours goes into autophagy. And autophagy is where the bad cells start falling away and you know, they get eaten up, right? So you just have good cells left. So they've said, there's studies, conducted, but I'm not really familiar with the whole thing, but a lot of people have said that, they've cured, different ailments and illnesses with, fasting. So doesn't hurt to try. It's not easy, but you can do it. Sometimes fasting is not the easiest thing to do. So the biggest thing is everybody's nervous system is different, just like everybody's body is different, right? And we just have to know what's best for us, right? And when our nervous system is dysregulated, it could be from chronic stress, traumatic events, unhealthy diet, lack of exercise, or, a compounding effect of different things that have happened in your life. It could even be you had a horrible childhood and you just like repressed it and then all of a sudden, ooh, it came up. So sometimes that kind of stuff happens. So it's all good. You can heal it. You can get better. So you have to understand the causes of the nervous system dysregulation and develop strategies for prevention and treatment. And that's why I'm here to help you. So with that said, I hope you guys got a little bit out of this, and learn a few signs and symptoms, of dysregulation, which can be, just like anything else. We could have symptoms of anxiety and depression, insomnia, fatigue, digestive issues. All this could be related to the nervous system or your gut. And if you're eating the wrong foods and not taking care of your health and you're living a poor lifestyle, you're not going to feel warm and fuzzy and 100%, right? So it's time to regulate your nervous system. Okay. So with that said, God bless you guys. I hope you're feeling okay today. I hope you're happy today. It's Friday. Let's heal this beautiful, beautiful body that the good Lord has given us. And let's do this together. So, with that said, I hope you got some information out of this and have a blessed Friday. And this weekend, oh my goodness, what is it? It's Valentine's Day, right? So what are you going to do? Hug yourself. Remember, one hand over the arm, the other one underneath the rib, and give yourself a great big bear hug. And that regulates your nervous system too. If you don't have anybody to enjoy Valentine's Day with, take yourself out to eat. Wear a cute little outfit and go have a nice meal or a movie or something fun. So with that said, God bless you. Happy Valentine's Day. Love you guys. Bye.